Hello everyone and welcome back to Lotus Premier Education. My name is Amanda and I want to be your college tutor. Today we're going to be talking about the Duke Supplemental Essays. Duke is a really popular school, so they get a lot of students applying every year, and it's important to start thinking about these essays early. One component to the Duke application that you may not know is that in the second portion of their supplemental essay section, they give you a few essays to choose from. This is a great opportunity for students, but it's also a little bit difficult because since you have to make a choice on the best response, you also have to brainstorm more essays so you can see which ones best fit in with your narrative. So let's begin. Before you start the Duke supplemental essays, it's really important that you reorient yourself to the school. What do Duke students have in common? What is Duke looking for in an applicant? And then of course, how does that relate to you? Why are you such a great fit for Duke? These are questions that you should really stop and think about before you brainstorm your essays. And we would also really encourage you to sit and write these questions down. Why do you think you're a good fit for Duke? Let's really sit and brainstorm on that for a second. Great. Then, once you get started with the essays, it's important to take a holistic look at each of the prompts and decide which ones you want to work on first and which ones you want to make sure you answer in your application. So let's get started with some of Duke's supplemental essay prompts. The first prompt is the only one that's required. It has a limit of 250 words, and it says, "What is your sense of Duke as a university and a community, and why do you consider it a good match for you? If there's something in particular about our offerings that attracts you, feel free to share that as well." Now, remember what we said right at the beginning. Why are you a good fit for Duke, and why are they a good fit for you? This is a great essay to start with when you're working on your Duke application because it will force you to really think about some of these things. In order to answer a why this school supplement, like this one, you need to make sure you've done your due diligence. So you want to start with a big research dump. Pull up some bullet points on why you want to go to this school. Pull up some main tips and tricks on why this school is a great fit for you and the specific things that you're going to make sure that you do on campus. So before answering this question, just go ahead and bullet point some of the details about what you want to make sure you do on campus. Next, we transition into the optional essay prompts. So for this particular section, there are going to be 5 prompts, and you are encouraged to pick up to 2. Each one is 250 words. So we're going to read each prompt and give you a few tips and suggestions under each one as we go. The first prompt is a perspective response. We believe a wide range of personal perspectives, beliefs, and lived experiences are essential to making Duke a vibrant and meaningful living and learning community. Feel free to share with us anything in this context that might help us better understand you and what you might bring to our community. So, like it says, this is a perspective question. They really want to hear 1 or 2 main things about you that are going to be important in how you engage with the Duke community. So before you answer this question, you want to start there. Think about how you would engage with the students around you and why you would be a great fit for the Duke community. Then you want to connect that to a personal example. So what things in your life have led you to believe this or to learn some of these things about you? What gave you this perspective? This is 250 words, so you have enough room to put in a personal anecdote or a little story, and you very much should. These essays should be creative. They should have a really strong tone that shows them who you are as a thinker, and they should give an example for everything that you're saying. The second question is intellectual experience based. Tell us about an intellectual experience in the past 2 years that you found absolutely fascinating. This type of question is one of my favorites because it's the time for you to get nerdy. So if you're going to answer this question, make sure you really dive deep into an intellectual experience. Don't just tell me about your math project last year, but talk about how those logarithmic functions really drove you wild. Make sure that you get really deep into something in this question because they're going to be looking for a passion of yours and they're going to be looking for outside the box thinkers. Number 3, beliefs and values. We believe that there is benefit in sharing and sometimes questioning our beliefs or values. Who do you agree with on the big important things, or who do you have your most interesting disagreements with? What are you agreeing or disagreeing about? This is a question that we have seen pop up on a lot of different applications in the last couple years, partially as a response to our political and social climate. If you answer these questions, you should make sure that you have a really engaging response, that you pick a person who's a good dialogue partner for you, but overall that you have a positive upswing. This is not a place to get negative or to get angry or to get, really focused on some of the negative qualities of society. It's a place to have a positive conversation about the upswing of dialogue and coherence and collaboration. But if you do choose to do this question, make sure that they are learning something about you. It's very easy to kind of just explain your conversation partner or some of these issues that are currently going on and not use it as a lens to reflect who you are. Number 4, we recognize that fitting in all the contexts we live in can sometimes be difficult. Duke values all kinds of differences and believes they make our community better. Feel free to tell us any ways in which you're different and how that has affected you or what it means to you. This is a great question because it really encourages students to celebrate their differences. For this question, we encourage you to get vulnerable, to think about what makes you different from your peers and how you stand out. And this could be something that used to be a struggle that you've later leaned into. But you should make sure that for this question, you're describing your differences or using a personal anecdote. Lastly, Duke's commitment to inclusion and belonging includes sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Feel free to share with us more about how your identity in this context has meaning for you as an individual or as a member of a community. For this question, if you feel comfortable sharing, you should go really deep here and explain how any of your revelations or any of your thoughts about your own identity contribute to you within a group context. And if you want here, you could apply that to Duke and some of the spaces that they have to encourage inclusivity among communities. So overall, you have 1 required essay and you have up to 2 optional essays from that list of 5 that we read. We highly recommend that before you pick the 2 that you're going to answer, you brainstorm a little response for each one and pick between your responses as far as which of the essays is going to best represent you to the Duke community. Now, they do say that essays are optional. As with everything in the college application process, we don't believe it's that optional, so we do recommend that you complete 2 of the optional responses in addition to your required essay. We hope this video was helpful as you complete your application to Duke. We would love to hear what some of you chose for these supplemental essays, so if you feel comfortable sharing, drop some of your ideas in the comments below. If you guys have any questions or video suggestions, things you're struggling with as you go through the process, we are always here to help, so you're welcome to drop a question in the comments as well. Please like, subscribe to our channel, share, and comment. It's so helpful for us when you guys subscribe as we try to put out more information to help students through the college process. So thanks so much for being here and look forward to our next videos on Lotus Premier Education. Bye guys.